Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Talk Live. We got a gang with us today, Mr. Bill Anderson, Bill, and Mr. Kenny Parker. And then what'd you call him? Principal
of the year.
Oh no,
Mr. Charlie Pope.
No, there are way too many more highly qualified principals. I'll just be happy to be Coach Pope. How's that?
All right, Coach Pope. We'll call you Coach Pope for today. And I'm David Thomas, and we're here to talk some Bedford County sports. And
Did
guys,
they not call you to tell you what to wear? We didn't get the message, did we?
Well,
No.
the question is, what's in this bag?
we'll talk about the bag.
I'll talk about the bag.
We'll
His
talk
yellow
about
shirt.
the bag.
Considering
later.
that yellow shirt came from my high school boys basketball coach, I think that
Is he in the bag?
No, but
Coach Shane Young.
but if he's watching, he might remember that his boss wears a extra large.
All right. Well, we got Miss Helen Raby. She's there.
She's
The
a
minute
regular.
we
She's our
fire
regular,
every
that's right.
morning.
We need
Miss
to have
Helen
her
is
on
good to have.
one
Yeah,
more.
we need to have Helen on. But guys, we got a lot of good things to talk about this morning as far as Bedford County sports go.
Well, let's start right here with one thing.
Okay.
Dr. Garrett and Joe Garrett, Garrett, are good personal friends with me and my wife, as everybody knows. And Dr. Garrett's done some good things here.
Yeah.
But one of the best things she did was hiring you, sir, as the principal of Central High School. And I don't want to sound like Butch Jones here,
Okay.
but the culture difference that I see at that school.
Yeah.
I saw it at that fish fry. I felt like I was at Cascade, not at Central. Mary Lita and those parents and the effort of your parents to pull that off at that fish fry the way they did. I commend you, your staff, Bubba D, all of you. That was a home run. And I haven't seen a crowd like we saw Thursday night at Central High School in years.
Well, I appreciate that, Bill. And thanks for having me on. You guys are way too kind, but it was a blessing when Dr. Garrett gave me the opportunity to lead Shovel Central because I was transferred there 3 years ago, and I did a lot of learning, did a lot of growing. There's a world-class faculty that works
There really is.
works in those halls and in those classrooms every day, and they took me under their wing, so to speak, and helped me a lot grow as a leader. And then just to get the opportunity to be the principal, it's a blessing, man. I mean, it's and I don't have to tell you guys, certainly. I mean, I know Kenny talked there years ago, and you want to go through the Mount Rushmore of Bedford County education, you can look at some of the people that have occupied that seat, and I don't feel like I'm worthy to even be mixed in the conversation, but it's a joy to come to work every day, and I appreciate it. And we are changing the culture, and we are changing it to the feel that kind of it's trying to be the vibe that I put out, and just be respectful, be professional, be real with people, be truthful. We're not always going to get along. We're not always going to see things eye to eye, but we can agree that we can be professional and be respectful. And that's kind of what we're trying to do each and every day.
To the bag.
The mystery bag.
On behalf of your boys basketball coach, Shane Young. We want you to be hooked up because I think a man of your stature should have something where we know he can see the principal.
I'm glad
And in
there's
this
concrete
shirt,
floor in
you
here.
can see the principal.
Yeah, you can definitely see the principal in that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I will not sneak up on anybody.
No, you will not.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll take back what I was thinking before
I'm quite sure that thing glows in the dark.
Coach Kenny, we will make sure that we get you next.
No, he'd have to giving three people a shirt to make mine.
No.
I've got one in the car. I can fit you if you wear it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we will take care of you.
Well, guys, let's pause for a second and thank our sponsors.
Absolutely.
No.
First Bank, Kincaid Service Company, and Hernandez Tree Services. 3 fine businesses here in Shelbyville and Bedford County. First Bank, Brent Kennedy, he'll take care of all your your banking needs. And then Kincaid Service Company, we've talked about them every week and how that one word sticks out. It's service.
Absolutely.
Service. we appreciate them.
Service and the things Kincaid's got.
Oh,
They've got more than you think. They've
Yeah.
got furniture. They've got from televisions to they've got way more than you think.
Great selection.
And
Also,
if you buy something from them, they're going to haul the other one off. That's the other key here is what do you do with something when you can't get rid of it? Where are you going to haul it to? Well, Kincaid's takes care of that for you.
Yeah.
Mark and Eve Kincaid, go see him.
Yep. And also Rocky at Hernandez Tree Services. He does more than just trees. He does landscaping, stump grinding, you name it. He does it very affordable, very professional. They get right on it. You're not going to be waiting around all year have
and
somebody show
reasonable
up.
prices. They're not going to come out and gouge like some of these other
Yeah.
guys. Rocky's going to give you a fair price, and he's going to do a good job.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we thank our sponsors, and we appreciate you guys for sticking with us all year here. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. All right, let's talk about Bedford County sports. Let's talk about the game last night. Cascade went to Marion County, and they were a little shorthanded. Had some injuries take place in the game, and they had a rough night.
Had some injuries before the game,
Yeah.
and then had some more during the game. But I'm gonna tell you, you've never been to Marion County. That's a tradition-rich program.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's tucked in the hills.
It's a great place to watch
Football
a game.
community.
Yes.
Yeah. They had a thing on I think it was 6 state championships and 6 runner-ups.
Yeah.
And they got a good little football team. But Cascade goes into the game without Sawyer,
Yeah.
who's in a boot, and then early in the second quarter, their quarterback goes down. But I thought Cascade came out ready to play. We had to kick off to Marion County in that first possession. Had Joel Anthony caused the fumble, and then we recovered it. Caden Hill recovered it, moved the ball, got a first down or two, and then we had a bad snap. Had to settle for a 44-yard field goal by the sophomore, and it would have been good from 54. Gabe Perez has really come on. He's done a good job. But then when Damien goes down, the quarterback, put the freshman in, Brady Lewis, and I thought did an excellent job running their offense. And senior Hayden Dow had to step in for Sawyer. He scored opening possession in the third quarter. So it was just tough. They have to go. They got another tough trip this week. They've got to go to East Robertson. And I told somebody, I was sitting there talking at the game. Cascade's been in every ball game this year except their first one and their last one.
Yeah.
And both of those teams are undefeated.
Yeah. And
now they got to go to East Robertson, who's got a pretty good athletic
yeah,
team.
True.
both of those teams that are undefeated are going to go deep in the playoffs.
They have possibilities of going deep.
I got a trivia question for you about East Robertson. Who was the basketball player who played for the University of Tennessee going to East Robertson?
The one that's
Groves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You know what?
Groves, yeah.
I remember him.
The running backs at East Robertson right now, you know what their last names are?
Groves.
Groves.
There you go.
Groves.
All right then.
Yeah, that's I remember Carlos Groves because when I was at Community High School student, we played East Robinson, and Carlos Groves was in that gym and took a few rims down.
He was a man.
There was another one that played on that team too that was every bit as good almost as he was.
Yeah, and I can't remember his name.
He was
They were loaded that year.
Yes.
Carlos Groves was a
Okay,
man.
where does the winner of that game go at that point? Who are they?
Well, it all of that depends about how of course, East Robertson's 2. Okay, Cascade's 3. Winner of that game, if Marion wins, will go to Marion.
Okay.
So they could go back to Marion.
Back home. Yeah.
If Cascade wins and Marion wins, Cascade will go back to
I
Marion.
got you. Okay. All right. So that'd be good to have a second chance, maybe if Sawyer can get
Only
help.
if you're healthy, and there's no guarantee with the
Who won the
concussion
other? Who won the other region? Who was the 1 seed over there?
Smith County.
Smith County. That's it.
Smith
Yeah.
County.
Well,
Smith County's tough.
everybody needs to get out and support. How far is the East Robertson drive?
You can't get there from here.
That's what I was thinking.
We used to
That's
play
what I
them.
thought.
When I was coaching at Cascade, we played them. You take 24. No, it's 65. 65. This is the last exit before you get out.
Before
of
you get to
Tennessee.
Kentucky.
Yeah, as a basketball coach at Cascade, 1 year East Robinson hosted the region.
It's hosted the tournament. We had to go
We had to go up there 3 or 4 times. I just
in a
remember
row,
by
back to back to back.
the end of the week, I thought, well, would it have been cheaper to get a hotel and just stay and and get some teachers to come up here and have class in the hotel, ballroom or something. I don't know. I mean, it was a chore to get there. But yeah, it's always good when you have a crowd that supports you like Cascade does. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Cascade travels. Because that fan base is passionate about their sports and supporting their kids, and it's just talk community. Yeah, they'll be there. They won't have to worry about that.
While we're talking Cascade a little bit right here, we need to give a shout out to the soccer team.
Oh, yeah.
State
Yeah.
championship.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They didn't have the outcome that they wanted.
Right.
Yep, they
First
made
time.
it there.
First time Cascade's ever made it to the state of
Yeah.
soccer. So
Oh yeah.
I want to give those girls a shout out.
Yeah, I took my daughter, my freshman Emma, to watch the game because heard some of her buddies play, and that team they play, Kingston High School, is one of the 8 teams. There's no bad team playing. Okay, that's the first thing. When you get to the state tournament, everybody playing is good. That Kingston High School team they ran into is right behind Merrill Hyde as far as opportunity to possibly win that thing. I don't know how they did yesterday.
They got beat just the next day. They're not playing Merle Hyde and somebody.
Yeah, so I mean, but anytime you make it to state level competition, that means you're one of the best ones.
That's
And,
right.
Hats off to them.
All right, let's shift gears now and let's move on to we had community play on Thursday night. It was a big loss.
63-0. It's
Yeah.
56-0 at the half.
Yeah.
That one was over with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Community. I'm just going to say this. Probably still hadn't come off the big win they had the week before.
right.
Against Red Bowling Springs, which I tell you, I was at that game. I was in Red Bowling Springs, came back and got it within 2 there at the end, and I said, and they just bowed their necks and went down and scored again, got it to the point conversion. And, I thought they played very well against Red Bowling Springs.
The Red Bull Springs isn't bad.
No, they came back and won.
5-0.
I think they won last night.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, they won. They beat Joe Burns
Last night. Sure did.
Well, we want to just wish them the best going forward here. They at least they got that win, so they can build a little bit on
Here's
their
the
Freshmen, sophomores,
Yeah.
now sophomores and juniors.
They're sophomores
That's
and
it.
juniors.
sophomores and
Yep.
juniors for sure.
Who have gained competition under their belts.
Right. And
And those kids kept fighting. They could have quit. They could have laid down. They didn't. They came back to beat Red Bull in Springs and they kept fighting. That's awesome.
and of course, Wales had a tough year.
Yeah.
That
Talking about
was the way it was to start the season.
Coach, when he was here,
Yeah. It's going to be a tough year. Not a lot of
25
No,
kids
it's not
and 5
gonna be-
eighth graders.
it's not going to be a tough year for Webb. It's going to be tough until they get rescheduled, reclassified. Because it's not going to get any better.
No, it's not.
next year.
You
It's
can't
not.
keep lining up against that schedule.
No.
Well, that whole classification thing, I think, living at Sheffield Central, and it's not a knock on your kids or your coaches or any of that stuff, but there are some classifications that just don't fit, and it's not conducive to being fair for your kids.
Well, Webb's not that, Coach. It's to me, it's the fact that they're a boarding school,
Right.
and they don't get their football players during the summer and able to go to summer passing leagues
Oh, wow.
and all of that. Matter of fact, they didn't get their whole allotment of athletes till about a week before
Before the season
practice started.
Yeah, 4-5, yeah.
And that's tougher on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being that, because several of their players were from out of state.
Yeah.
A couple of them from Canada. So
And all these other
That's what-
programs, they stay in football mode
Oh,
year
yeah.
round.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you got
yeah.
them going in June. They're thinking about football.
and so they're doing the same thing with their basketball programs and their others. But at least you've got the beginning of school year to get all
Oh, yeah.
that gelling going.
Yeah.
Yeah, weeks, months.
All right, let's shift to Shelbyville. We did our little show yesterday afternoon. That's kind of a special edition.
What a crowd, Dave.
Yeah, it was. It's the best
I
crowd
mean,
I've
it was
seen
loud.
in a long time.
Oh, it was
Eagle
fun.
Nation came out.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tullahoma came too.
Oh, they did.
But I am going to say this: if any of y'all listen to 104.5 this morning, when Tate Matthews, the Williamson County Athletic Director, was on there, a little bit of bulletin board material for our district because
Oh,
he
yeah.
pretty much was saying that Nolensville was going to go to Tullahoma and pretty much beat them, and that Centennial was better off being in our bracket the way it turned out. And I'm sure those coaches in Williamson County aren't happy about this.
Oh, I'm probably not.
But it is what it is. But there was some bulletin board material in that show this morning.
Basically, they said they got a good chance of going 3-1.
Pretty much.
And who are they saying is going to win here? Shelbyville's going to beat Hillsborough.
That was it.
Yeah,
That was it.
that
And then,
But then
I'm
they
telling
did
you,
say-
Tullahoma's going to be tough for Nolensville. At Tullahoma,
Oh, sure.
Tullahoma's got well coached.
Hey,
They're going to come out and play better next week.
They're gonna have to play better
They will.
because
I think they were
They-
overconfident coming into this game. That's what all my Tullahoma buddies are telling me. They thought they had us. They didn't know how fast we were, and we hit them in the mouth. We were the more physical football team. I commend Coach Dryden and those boys.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it didn't start the way I was hoping.
No.
When they returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, I turned around and went,
Oh,
boy."
no.
But then we responded.
Yes.
I bet they didn't have 120 yards total offense.
oh, it's less
No.
than that.
They
I
did.
said I
It's
bet they
less.
didn't have
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot less than that.
I mean, they just didn't look very good to me.
Well, hey, the Williamson County
But
AD.
Shovel had a whole lot to do with it.
Oh,
Yeah, they
absolutely.
did.
Absolutely. The Williamson County AD is entitled to his opinion.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got
I'm
one.
glad he did it.
Hey, you know what? We can't control his opinion. We
But
can-
here's
we can
one
control
thing
what
you
happens
know.
next.
Here's one thing you know: if you play Shovel, you come into Shovel
Yeah, you're coming to
Mhm.
Shelbyville.
because Shovel's got possibly four
4
home
home
games
games.
before they would have to go to Chattanooga.
We
Yeah.
got our pass rush back. That's what had been missing to me since the bye week at Spring Hill week was that great pass rush that got us there. That Tullahoma quarterback, he didn't want any more after that pick six by William Bobo. We go up 14-7. He was rattled.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's something.
Sure.
Hey.
I mean, we're talking about, 16, 17, 18-year-old
Right.
kids in the heat of that competition when the lights are brightest, it can get to people.
I
And
don't think he'd seen a Radon Crenshaw either
well, and
all year.
I mean, that goes back to what I was saying about the classification piece. I mean, these seniors, they went through the gauntlet of 6A football, where you had to go through the SEC of TSAA,
Yeah.
Right.
which is Rutherford County, and they've seen that athleticism, that speed, and things that a lot of people don't see. And then when you get them in 5A, where it's more a level playing field, our kids have shown that, and our coaches have shown that the process and the way we've been going about business can pay off when it's level. I mean, my whole goal as an administrator is to make sure our kids have a level playing field and a fair opportunity. And if you get beat, you get beat.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you like it, but it was a fair fight. And when you're going in night after night where you feel like it's not fair, you struggle, and you hurt for your kids.
When you know you got to play your best and still got to have some help.
The good news about this too is we don't have to get in charter
Absolutely.
buses to go anywhere. We stay right here.
Okay.
Well, I
You
mean,
got
I had to
charter
get my- I had
buses
to
all year.
I had to get my charter bus.
hey,
in there.
they had long enough to watch a movie intro between Tullahoma and Chevy.
I don't know.
And all
They
those
couldn't have watched Three Stooges.
and the signs they had all up down the highway coming in here. It
Well,
was a
hey,
great day to be a Golden Eagle.
you know what? You want that passionate fan base. You want 'em-
Absolutely.
you
They
want
got
'em-
great fans.
Hey, you want them to believe in your team. You want them to
And
have
I want them to beat Nolensville. I hope they beat Nolensville.
absolutely.
Columbia, I think, if they play, you don't know who is Columbia. They've got a shot, though, against Centennial with those athletes. If they play well, they've got a shot at them. I don't think it's a full brain that Columbia loses.
Columbia's scary.
Yeah.
Well,
Columbia's scary.
if they play like they played against us,
Yes.
they could beat Centennial because they gave us all we wanted. That was
Oh,
their
yeah.
best game of the year.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, our side is going to be just as well represented as their side, and that's the fun part about this time of year, is that you can go into it with the belief and the hope that a few things go your way, kids play well, you can be playing. The more teams that are sitting at home watching, the more fun it gets.
Back to the football game, two things I noticed. I thought the Tullahoma quarterback didn't respond well to the pick six.
Yeah.
DeLaudard threw a pick six. He came right back and it didn't bother him. DeLaudard was the better quarterback Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm sitting up there in the stands and I'm watching and I'm thinking, that dude for Tullahoma out, the Shovel quarterback came from Tullahoma
He did.
Yes, it is.
because he wasn't the man. And I thought, somebody needs to reevaluate this. 'Cause
Great
there
run
wasn't
DeLaudard made,
but
too.
one quarterback on
No,
the field that
there was
night.
one.
Yeah.
There was one.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was.
And then Stephen Bobo muffs the punt. Does it bother Stephen? No, he comes back with two pass breakups that are huge. When
Yeah.
you got to let a mistake go, come right back the next play and forget it. And DeLaudard and Bobo both
Is Stephen
outstanding.
the older one?
The younger, he's the freshman.
Freshman.
Williams Jr.
And William, how good was he?
We 18 was a player.
Yeah.
Four
he
catches,
was-
65 yards, a
he-
touchdown,
he-
a pick six,
he
4
was a player.
tackles, and 4 pass breakups for William Bobo. My namesake.
He
Yeah.
had a game. He's a player.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Stephen, for a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to pick on Stephen.
No.
No, I kind of find it amusing the last few games where it's like they think, okay, here's a
He's
freshman.
a freshman.
And the game, I think it was Lincoln County that he had the big interception late.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the big jumped up and snagged
And
it.
and it's like, okay,
Beckham
you
style.
might want to reconsider that
Right.
that approach on the attacking that young man.
He's special.
Oh yeah,
I
he's-
really think, and I was telling Kenny before we started today, that I feel like him being on the field as a freshman has elevated the play of everybody else in the secondary, because you got seniors and juniors looking. There's a freshman out here. Look at this, how he is out here playing, man.
Did he start the game in the secondary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he did.
He had to, because we got injuries.
Yeah, and he has brought everybody up, I think.
Well, and watching those guys in the hallways, watching those guys during the day, I mean, they really are developed into a pretty tight group. Like, I mean, you've got, yes, the seniors see that and they want to raise their level of play, but you don't see any kind of jealousy, you don't see any kind of animosity. Like, I mean, they all have bought into what Coach Dryden, Coach Hunsaker, all the coaches have got them believing is that, hey, together we're a whole lot better. Let's see how far we can ride this thing. It's pretty fun to watch.
We talked about all that early in the season.
Yeah.
You can be athletic, you can have good athletes and all, but if you don't have chemistry, you don't have a team.
Yeah.
And you got to have a team at this level.
Oh yeah.
And I
You
thought
gotta
the
have a
coaching
team.
staff did a really nice job showing different looks in this ball game. Because in the third quarter, Tullahoma's the one running the football, trying to run the football. We gave them a lot of looks that we didn't let them do what they wanted to do. They wanted to stack the box, and we spread them out. I thought it was an outstanding coaching job by our coaching staff.
Yeah, well, it ended in a good result. Whatever they did, it worked. And now
Oh, yeah,
we've got to
100%.
line up.
Ian Matusik had a good ball game.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday. The offensive line played a little bit better, but back to the defense. Tyson Dunn had some big plays. Radon Crenshaw, Rocky Chandler, guys. That tackle he makes on that 4th and 2, that looked like something from college.
Yeah,
He just absolutely blew that play up.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Rocky Chandler is
Is
a
he a
dog.
junior or senior?
Rocky's a junior.
He's a junior.
Wow.
And he should play somewhere, guys.
He's a player.
He
Don't
needs
play at Shepherd
college
next year.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play at Shepherd
I can
next
tell you where he's
year.
going to play one more year.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure the opposing teams don't want to see 11 anymore.
And Bailey gutting it out with a growing injury. I mean, because he wanted to be out there. He wanted to play. He clearly is not 100%, but he went out there and played anyway.
And you had LeBron Ransom on the sideline still with a bad situation with his ankle, and tried to play, but he's not ready yet. Hopefully we'll get him back too. But
But the key to this ball club, and I know we score a lot of points, the key for Shelbyville going forward is that defense.
yeah,
If you've got that defense you had Thursday night, we've got a chance to do something special. If we play defense like that and we're physical and we've got that pass rush, because then your secondary looks a whole lot better when you're putting pressure on that quarterback.
When I was coaching, I had a shirt that I always wore. It said, offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you've heard me say it all along, you got to rely on your defense. Your defense has always got to be on. Your offense can have a bad game here or there, but your defense has always got to play.
Now, one concern I have going forward is kick returns.
Yeah.
And kick coverage. We either need to put some different do something different, because that Tullahoma kid nearly broke another one, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, a special teams play like that can be all the difference in the world if you give up the big kick return.
Well, and I don't disagree that there's things to tighten up, but I will say this: when you're and you want to be playing your best football at this time of year, of course. But one of the things too is if you look at your team and you see some areas you can still improve and grow in, and you're still with the record you've got, with the seeds you've got, with the opportunity to play at home, you still got to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And they're gonna fix and shore up what they've got to fix and shore up. Because I've got a chance to be around those coaches, and some of them we've had a hand in hiring, and they're high character guys.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that we've, when we had to fill 23 teaching spots this my first summer, one of the things we really worked hard on is hiring high character people. We can teach skill. You can't teach character.
Yeah, you're right.
And we've been blessed to have high character people, and those high character coaches are working today. They're watching film. They'll meet
Guaranteed.
tomorrow, and they're going to pour themselves into those kids, because that's the message that we send every day. Hey, we've all been given gifts, and my challenge to them, the coaches and teachers, give your gift away every day. If you give your gift away every day, the kids will respond. Now, they may take a little while because they've seen a lot of change in the coaching staff and the teachers, administration. They've seen a lot of change. But if we keep giving that gift away, they're going to catch on. And when they catch on, it's going to be special. And you can
And
see
I'll
it.
say this: I think our kids watch as much film, the boys, and that coaching staff's giving them they're watching it at home. Todd Bobo was telling me, William and Stephen constantly. That's all they're doing. They're watching film. That's technology for you. But I think you got boys that have bought in, coaches that have bought in, and the boys are watching the film.
One thing,
Ian Matusik, I guarantee he's watching film.
one thing that Coach Ryan said one time on his show early in the year, probably about after the third game, talking about the philosophy they have and the way the boys respond is they self-correct. They teach them to self-correct. When they do something wrong and they're called out, they know what to do to fix it. For instance, a high snap, they know that he's got his rear end a little high. Let's correct that. And he was talking about how the kids were stepping up and working on the problems themselves without having to be driven by them. They were driving themselves. That's a big difference.
And I like to see Coach Evans and Coach Kennedy out there too, junior high coaches on the sidelines helping them. I mean, that's just that's wonderful.
Well, and I want to share something real quick too that is so nice as a principal that you get phone calls during the week, and not all of them are pleasant. I know people can't imagine that.
No, sure not. Sure not.
You know, Coach Kenny at the bus garage, I'm sure he gets some parent phone calls during the week. But
They're all positive. They love Kitty Claus.
When we played at Columbia, the next Monday, I got a phone call from a parent from Columbia, and of course, the secretary took the message, and I'm thinking, oh boy, what have I got to apologize for? Well, I called this parent back. This parent said, "Hey, I've been running chains for 6-7 years. That was the most respectful, well orchestrated, positive sideline that I have seen in 6 or 7 years for a visiting team." And I told the coaches that. And of course, they kind of looked at me and I said, I didn't say it wasn't intense. I didn't say you didn't get after them. I didn't say you didn't hold them accountable.
Right.
But you did it the right way. And as a principal, that makes me more proud than most anything you can do.
You're right.
Yes, I want the W's. Yes, you want to be playing late in the year. Yes, you want to go to state competitions and state championships. What you want more is seeing high character people influencing those student athletes the right way.
You're building men.
Yeah.
You're building
Absolutely.
men. You're building men.
I will say this: I was at that game, and I walked with the chain gang most of the time, and they were interacting with players, and it was cordial. I mean, they were like, you could tell that they saw something because they talked about it on the sideline.
Okay.
And that was neat to see, and that's a vantage point that most people don't get to see how good those kids are on the sidelines and how they, and there was a little jawing back and forth between players, and they'd laugh and they were having fun.
Right. Well, let's be honest, guys. I mean, you guys do this every week. And I grew up on one end of the county and went to the community, was administrator or coaching administrator at Cascade. Now I'm at Central. Our county has a lot of high quality kids in our system and a lot of high quality teachers and coaches, administrators. Our county, one of the reasons why I think our county is growing the way it is because there's a quality of people here in this county that other people see.
Yeah.
And it's such a blessing to be a part of it. And I think we all can sit at this table and know, do we have issues? Sure we do. Like I know Coach Ken, I talk about it often, about kids we got to work on, help them get better. But you got a whole lot of really good kids and a whole lot of really good people that come through our system and stay in Bedford County that turn into really good people. We're so happy and blessed.
And something they've been missing at Central that I'm going to go back to again are the parents out there. That's the difference I see too, is these parents involved with their kids, involved in the school, the parents working. We didn't have that at Central the last several years like we got it now.
The parents are the total key to all of education.
Absolutely.
All of education, from kindergarten to the senior year. You can talk about test scores, you can talk about this teacher, you can talk about that teacher. The parents are the key to a successful program, to a successful school.
When we're cooking up there, Randy Clanton looked at me and he said, Bill, I feel like I'm in Cascade, not at Central. I hadn't seen this in years. Well, you had parents in that cafeteria working. You had boys helping us, football players. You had a group effort and a good feel and a good vibe.
Yeah.
100%.
And I commend everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, we need to shift gears and
Hey,
start
does anybody
talking.
got the Forest Fayetteville score from last night?
39-37
Yeah.
Fayetteville.
Okay.
All right.
37.
Just to let everybody know, I'm going to post the 2 state brackets on Bedford County Sports on Facebook and on the sports section on Shelbyville now. So if you want to see the brackets, they will be up later today. But Shelbyville hosts Hillsborough, and the winner of that game will play the winner of the Centennial Columbia game. So
Correct.
that's where we stand. And if we win, we play at home and play at home all the way through the playoffs. So guys, get out and support the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles and take a drive north and go to East Robertson and support the Cascade Champions this coming week. 2 teams fought hard this year. They've earned their way into the playoffs. Now let's get out and support them. Guys, anything you would like to add?
No, it's time.
It's
You know,
crunch time.
It's second season.
Yeah.
This is the only season that matters.
Yeah.
Well,
Winner move on, loser go home.
I do want to say thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for the work you do every weekend, every Saturday for doing this. It's a blessing to a lot of people. We appreciate it.
Well, we're happy to do it, and
Anything we can do to help kids,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
that's what we want to do.
That's it.
All right, let's take a quick break here. We're going to hear from 2 of our sponsors this morning, First Bank and Hernandez Tree Services, and then we're going to talk about Kincaid when we come back.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back in here now, and I want to mention our other sponsor, Kincaid Service Company. We've already talked about them, and I told this story once before. Bought a refrigerator a couple years back, and they had their whole crew. It was a chore getting it in the house and getting it into the spot, and they had 5 guys there. They ended up having to saw a part of the wall out, and they did it right there. All the other one off, like you were
That's
talking
right.
about, Bill.
That's
Took
key.
the other
All
one
off.
off. I didn't have to deal with it. And those guys went out of their way to make sure we had that thing running, and we didn't have a gap. And I mean, that's the kind of service you need. You don't get that at the big box
No,
stores.
you're not going to get it.
Only at a hometown store and a hometown business like
Amen.
Kincaid Service Company. We appreciate you guys at Kincaid helping us make this possible. Let's talk about college football today. I guess in the SEC, all eyes are on Georgia, Florida. What do you guys think about this game?
I don't think it's a game.
You don't
I
think
do.
it's a game?
I think it's a game. I think that tight end being out for Georgia is bigger than people think.
I don't
Now,
think
Georgia's
it's a
going to
game.
win the ball game. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's 14 and a half the line.
Remember
I
a
think
couple of
Florida's
weeks
gonna
ago
cover.
when Georgia was playing Kentucky and y'all was telling me all
I
this,
do.
and I said,
Yeah.
ain't going to be a game. Was it a game?
That was not.
All right, this ain't going to be one
All right,
either.
Kentucky, Tennessee.
I don't think it'll be one either.
Really?
I think it's going to be a game. So I see Tennessee go on the road and play well. I got to see it.
What
first.
does Kentucky do well
Run the football.
offensively? What does Tennessee do well defensively?
Stop the run.
There you go.
Well, and I'm gonna throw this out there too. Now, I don't disagree. They got to play well on the road, but you think about the 2 places they've been on the road. Okay, the Swamp has devoured many a good Tennessee football team over the last 50 years.
Florida's not a good football team. It was a horrible
Well,
loss.
I didn't say they were. I didn't say they were.
Horrible loss.
But just the
Yeah.
environment of going on the
Yeah.
road.
Right.
And then when you go down to Tuscaloosa, that place has devoured many a good football
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Especially
Alabama's a good football
especially
team.
after you beat them the year before.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I could put going to Commonwealth Stadium in the same
You
category.
ain't even in the
But I'm
in the
gonna
back
say
seat.
this.
You're in the trunk.
Tennessee for Kentucky fans is like Alabama for Tennessee fans. It is the biggest game of the year for Kentucky. Bill Lewis, our dear party Kentucky
He's a
graduate
Kentucky
friend,
man.
right here's buddy.
I don't disagree with
He bled the blue.
you. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll
It's-
tell you something.
It's going to be, and I'm telling you, that coach up there has done a great job at
I
Kentucky.
don't disagree with you.
Playing on the road
Amen.
in the SEC is tough wherever you go in the entire conference, including Vanderbilt. And it's not because of fans are so big, it's big crowd and loud and all that, but because they don't have running water in the locker room.
You gotta get dressed in a tent.
Exactly. So you are.
Come on,
it's
David.
tough.
Vandy ain't a tough place to play. Come on.
It is because of that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Just
But
But
I-
Tennessee's going to win the game. I just think they're going to have to play well, and I think it will be close. Tennessee has better players.
okay.
They'll win the game, but it's not. They're not going to blow them out. I don't see it.
What's
I
a
think it's
blowout?
good.
What do you consider a blowout?
10 or more.
Okay. Your helmet's about to cave in.
Yeah, your helmet's about to lose.
All right. What else we got going on in the SEC? I hadn't even looked, guys. Nothing, not a lot going. We got a lot.
I don't know. I tell you what. One game is that somebody better hope he wins is wherever A&M goes.
Yes.
Wherever Texas A&M plays.
Vanderbilt's going down to Ole Miss today. I think Vandy's in trouble. I think Lane
Yeah,
Kiffin's going to put it on.
I'm telling you. But I don't even know where A&M. Where's A&M? Who or
I
where?
don't even see them on the schedule.
I think they're off this
There
week.
it is. They're
No.
in South Carolina. No, South Carolina goes to them.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you what. That's a hard play. A&M's a hard place to play.
yeah.
It's hard with a defense like South Carolina's too.
Well, and South Carolina's not playing.
Yeah, but A&M,
Not
that
playing.
crowd, that could be one of the hardest, especially if they want to get up for it. That's a tough place to play.
Here's another interesting matchup: Oregon at Utah.
Utah
Oregon.
makes everybody play their game. If you notice that, I don't care who they play, they're going to make you play their game, and it's going to be nasty, physical, and I don't care who it is. All these spread teams come in there, and you think USC is going to blow them out. What happens? Utah made you play their brand of football. Utah's tough.
I hadn't been impressed with USC for a while.
I hadn't either, but I think
Yeah.
Utah gives them a ball game. It's at Utah. Isn't it?
It's at Utah.
Yeah, it's at Utah. Okay, and we've got in the SEC again, Mississippi State at Auburn. Does Auburn get a win there at home?
Yes.
They should.
Should be.
My
They
wife will be
should.
terribly upset. She's an Auburn grad.
Mississippi State didn't score but 7 last week when they played.
That's strange to me. You got the quarterback there, and you had the system
Arkansas.
on it when he comes in that he just did away with. That's the system. He just did away with what those kids were recruited to do.
He probably don't know the system.
Well, yeah, certainly that was a coach on staff that did.
No,
They knew Coach Leach's system. Somebody had to have.
Leach's system was right there.
Oh, it was.
That's why he had that little bitty thing that he carried in his hand. It was all right there.
I was gonna say Michael H was like the.
Mhm.
I heard him
He was
described
the
one time as
Pirate.
like the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it just came out of between his ears, and it might not be the same
Mhm.
the next
Yeah.
next time he installed it. Might look completely different.
Here's an interesting matchup: Colorado at UCLA. I follow UCLA because of Gary Smith.
We've got a lot of.
I'm taking Coach Prime, Julia. My daughter, she loves Coach
I'm
Prime.
gonna tell you, Gary is going to have a big contingent at this game because I know one of my bus drivers, Tyrone Johnson, is there's a bunch of them that's flown out there
Really?
to watch this game this week.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Gary, and who was it? I was listening on the radio show last night. Somebody here local had a big game, and got a call from Coach Prime, offered him during the game at halftime or something.
From where?
From one of the teams here in the mid-state. I'm
Oh,
not
really?
sure.
Okay.
I heard that too.
Mhm.
Well, I've been following UCLA because of Gary. He's having a good year.
Mhm.
They rotate that defensive line, but he's doing his job. He's occupying 2 blockers every play.
Here's the thing. I know you like it. They're on the decline.
Who's that?
Colorado.
Colorado. Yeah, they peaked early
Yeah,
there.
they peaked. They're,
Don't
he had-
underestimate him
I
starting
just-
this week.
He was ramping his kids the other day. Do you still believe? Do you still believe? So you know what that's telling me? They've been hit in the mouth a few times, and
Right. And the belief is starting to wane a little bit.
Mhm.
No, I mean, hey,
I love him.
I'll
today.
take
I
Coach
him.
Prime over the UCLA coach. He don't impress me.
Yeah,
that much.
I'm not going to
you know,
disagree with
let's
you there.
think. Coach Prime hit it with a lot of passion and energy at the
Mhm.
beginning,
Yeah.
which is what when you come
And
into
had the big win.
a college program. Now, I never did it with football, but college basketball. When you come into a college basketball program and you're having to rebuild, you better have a lot of energy. You better have a lot of enthusiasm. You better gas them up. But I remember our first year at UT Southern. We had 6 wins before Christmas and finished 8-24. And I mean, you have that energy and that momentum, but then the fatigue sets in. Usually, you don't have a lot of depth because you haven't been able to recruit like you want to, and it takes time. So
The difference here was the transfer portal, and he did bring in 87 new players. The Henry kid's a stud. His son is a darn good quarterback.
absolutely.
But you brought up something, and I want to throw out right here, right quick, because we hadn't said it. You basketball, Cascades, Lucas Clanton that played at Cascade last year, walked on and made the team at Auburn.
I heard that.
Right.
Number 33.
Yeah.
He's and
That's a big deal
and
too.
Bruce
Sure
Pearl
is.
came to a gym where Lucas was playing and asked him to come and try out, and he's been, way I understand, having some really good practices.
That's something that we probably need to do more of is keep up with these kids when they leave high
Yes,
school.
absolutely.
Just like Gary, I followed him, and I know O.J. Davis back for Central played. Avery Brown went to a college in Michigan and played. We have kids that go
I had
out.
the girl that ran track that
Yes,
was such
yes.
after she left here, I
Where'd
don't
she
know
go?
what's-
Duke. She went to
yes,
Duke.
you to do.
Yeah, and did well. I mean, and we're going to have kids that go out, and I think what we need to do is purposefully follow these guys and keep our community updated with what's going on. That's a good story.
And community girl basket. They've had some basketball players. That's
Yeah, they
gone
have.
on.
Yeah. Dan Ray just came in there, says big time win and season for the Golden Eagles. Dan, thanks for that. We'd like to have you on here sometime, talk some basketball. I know basketball season's getting right around the corner, and you love to talk about the Vikings. Let's get up in here and talk about it, Dan. You're welcome.
It won't be
anytime.
long. We'll have the Coach Shane Young
Shane
show. It's going to be my one
Well,
basketball
and-
show
and-
once
and
a week.
basketball practice starts Monday.
Yes. Yeah, it
Starts
does.
Monday.
Week of November 1st, and as an old basketball coach, I always liked it when November 1st fell like on a Thursday because I knew I was going to pick up some extra days, like I was going to get into October a little bit. So that's always good.
I can't wait to see Coach Young and what he's going to put out there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you one thing. They're going to play defense. They're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to get after it. He's going to play a lot of kids. And like he said, if he pulls you out of the game and puts you down and you're not tired, you're not playing hard enough.
Yeah.
You're going to play hard. I promise you that.
All right, guys, we have we don't have a lot of college football. We've mentioned these few, and I guess it's now time to change gears and talk about Titans. Bill, what's going on?
I'm afraid this is the last weekend you see Derrick Henry. I think he will be traded before
And
Halloween.
Tannehill.
Tannehill, no one wants him, so no one's going to trade for him.
I
They don't want the salary unless the
Well,
Titans are going to pay the salary.
Tony Sanders asked the question, what do y'all think about the Byard trade, the trade that was made this week?
I think it was
I think it was good.
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
You got
because it
some
gives
players.
Byard a chance to win a Super Bowl. So you did right by him.
Yeah.
Right.
You got a valuable ass at 2 picks, and you got a player nobody's talking about. That's
He
not a
was the
man
number
saying.
one draft pick.
He was a number one pick in 2018.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing too. When Byard, there was a chance you were going to lose Byard anyway. So
Yes.
And that's the same way with Henry and Tannehill
I mean,
both.
if the fear is you're going to lose them, you might as well move them and get whatever commodities, whatever draft picks you can accumulate, because you're going to have to build this thing more probably through the draft.
Yeah.
And that's
And we were missing picks.
They did not have many draft
We
picks.
did not.
That's the
They had a
thing.
1, 2, 3, and then
They got
2,
1, a
7.
2, a 4, no 3, and 3 sevens.
Okay, so he's stacking draft picks.
Got
That's what
to.
he's doing.
They got to rebuild his program.
But the other thing with Byard was getting rid of the salary from the standpoint, not just this year. He was going to count like $19 million against your cap next year, and that went to Philadelphia. So that freed up $19 million.
And Byard already said he wasn't going to.
Taking a pay cut.
That's right.
He wasn't going to do it.
And Titans have got to rebuild.
And I don't mean to say this wrong.
And this is
Well,
part of
Byard's
it.
not the player he was a couple years
I don't
ago.
think
He's
he
getting
is
30,
either.
He's just not.
I don't think
He's still a good player, but he's not a Pro Bowler.
I agree with you.
And keep in mind, gentlemen, that they're building a new stadium.
Right.
And you got to make sure that you're primed and ready to enter that new stadium with a good product to fill those seats.
They're going to fill those seats because there's not going to be as many of those seats.
No, and it's not going to be the four of us at the game because they're going to price us out. They've already done it. It's going to be corporations that control the tickets. That's what it's going to be.
But
Charlie Pope and Bill Anderson can't afford to go to the Titans game.
It's
You almost
terrible.
can't afford now.
No, right now. Think what it's going to be then.
All right. The way I see it, I'm hoping is come draft day, people are going to get sick of hearing Titans picking. I mean, he's
Well,
stacked up.
Let's talk about Derrick Henry for a minute, and I want to bring up the fact Will Levis is starting. if you trade away Derek, my fear is you got to give Levis a chance to be successful. I do not want to see Hopkins traded because he's got to have some weapons to have some success. Because what I don't want to see is no weapons and he ruined the kid. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's got to have some weapons. What better than a big running back?
I'm afraid that they're going to trade Derek.
Yes, I think they are too.
And I love Derek, not because he's from Alabama, because he's the class act that he is.
Sure, absolutely.
And
But I think the Titans want a 3. No one's offering a 3, so it hadn't happened.
I heard with the Bengals, the trade was talked about with Henry and the Bengals. They were going to give a 2 and a 4.
And
I said, if they give a 2 and a 4,
give me the 2.
I love you,
Give me the 2. I leave the 4. Give me the 2.
Yeah, give me the 2.
But like Charlie and I were talking about,
and he's got a chance. He's got a chance.
Dallas makes a lot of sense for Derrick
But
Henry.
the
Pollard's
thing
not a
about it is-
3-down back.
He got a chance to be the all-time man.
Yeah.
With the Tide Oilers, he's within.
I do think the fan base is going to be very upset if Henry's
Yeah.
traded. They're
Oh,
not going to be
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
I mean, it's somebody that you.
The fan base was a little disappointed with Byard,
Right.
but it's going to be totally devastated with Henry.
It's gonna be like Eddie George.
Yes, that's
He
what I was
didn't
about
look
to say.
right. He did not look right in a Cowboys uniform.
No, I agree.
Please don't trade him to the Baltimore Ravens, pretty please. Trade him to any other team, not the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think I could stomach him in the Ratbird
All right,
uniform.
guys, we got to wrap this thing up.
Well, what do they do tomorrow?
That's who knows. Who is Levis?
Well, I mean, they're playing Titans South.
Yes.
I mean, they're playing Arthur Smith and a good bit of the roster
Yeah.
that played in Nashville. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be kind of looking in the mirror in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Here's a prediction for you.
Hey,
It's a good day to be a field goal kicker. I
I'm
think
gonna
there's
tell
going
you
to
right
be
now.
a bunch of field goals.
It's a good day to watch that game because of the uniform.
Yes, sir.
Like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to be
Throwbacks.
wearing.
Throwback.
They're wearing
Throwback
the
uniforms,
old-
the blue, the
That
Columbia
is-
blue.
That
The
is
Lucky
one
Blues.
of the best uniforms. That is a great. It's right there with the.
The only
It's right
problem,
there with the Chargers. I love the Chargers uniform.
Coach Parker, you're a helmet guy. I wish they were wearing the old Columbia blue.
No, I like the white one.
No,
I like-
who knows?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I like the white
No,
one.
I like
The white one with that red face mask. Bad
Okay.
dude.
All right,
Bad dude.
guys, we need to wrap up. Principal of the year. Thank you.
Principal of the year, sorry, bro.
No, hey, no,
We had you on the
You
show
know what it is?
more
You
often.
got
You
the
were
gold
great on here,
shirt.
too. He was
Yeah.
great on here.
Got the
Well, I
gold
appreciate
shirt.
appreciate
The guy's
you guys
gold
doing
shirt.
it. Yes, I do.
Coach Young hooking you up.
Coach Young, you're free for you're good for another year, man.
All right, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back again this
Coaching
same
shows,
time.
don't forget about them.
That's right.
Monday night, we got
Monday-
Jake Tyre. Tuesday night, we got Coach Dryden. And Wednesday night, Coach Grooms.
Yep.
And we're going to the playoffs, folks. Get ready and get out and support the Golden Eagles. Next Friday night, we need that same fellow on the crowd.
It's at 7
Join us
o'clock.
at the
7
Eagle.
o'clock.
Join us
7
at the
o'clock.
Eagles Nest at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
And Charlie's going to wear his shirt.